Welcome to a new NFL season, everybody. This week was very eventful and a great kickstart to 2025. Let's cut it short and sweet and get right into things. Division rivals kicking it off. Super Bowl champion versus the team of the 90s that the fans never let go. Jalen Carter proves as such by spinning a nice loogie right on Dak Prescott's jersey. He was ejected after only the first snap of the game. No shame whatsoever. Prescott carried the offense on their first drive with a deep pass to CeeDee Lamb, and the former Bronco, Javonte Williams, scores the first touchdown of the new season. Jalen Hurts immediately responds with a touchdown of his own on the next drive. They go back and forth, scoring either in the end zone or through the goalpost. Prescott tries to get one to Jake Ferguson in the end zone, but Reed Blankenship knocks his block off. They try it again, but Sanders fumbles the football and the Eagles recover. Saquon and the Eagles showcase their talents for the rest of the game. The Eagles are 1-0 on the new season, and the rest of America is happy. With facing another division rival in the Giants the next week, the Cowboys could easily go 0-2 to start the season. As for the reigning Super Bowl champs, they needed this win. They have a Super Bowl rematch against the Chiefs next week and will need all the momentum that they can get. Speaking of Kansas City, they had a division rival to face as well. The LA Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I think I pronounced that right. Anyway, the way the NFL wants to make overseas appearances and branching themselves into a broader audience is great in my opinion. As for the game, the Chargers strike first with a strike, right down to Quentin Johnston. Wait, Johnston can actually catch the ball? Holy crap. The Chiefs were looking sloppy throughout the first half, scoring only 2 field goals. But after the second half, Tyir Tart decided to slap Travis Kelce in the face, knowing that a 15-yard penalty would get him in the field goal range and back into the game. They do just that as Patrick Mahomes runs it in himself for the touchdown. However, Harrison Butker misses the extra point, keeping them down by 1. Herbert and the Chargers respond by going retro. Keenan Allen scores a touchdown to make it 20-12. The Chiefs capitalize once more, scoring a Travis Kelce redemption touchdown to keep them down by only 2. The Chargers score once again with a Quentin Johnston touchdown to put them up by 9 with less than 5 minutes to go in the game. The Chiefs needed a play, and a key one at that, to get back into it. And they did, with Hollywood Brown making a catch wide open inside the 10. The Chargers hold them outside the end zone and come through clutch, resorting the Chiefs to a field goal. Justin Herbert gets the game-sealing first down run to officially end the Chiefs' chances, and the Chargers beat the Chiefs in a rather shocking result. With this win, the Chargers can take this momentum against the Raiders next week, while the Chiefs will need to overcome their rustiness if they want to overcome Philly. Let's just get this game out of the way. The Miami Dolphins look like a completely different team this year, and it's in the most horrible way possible. All the retirements, injuries, and controversy that has surrounded this team has turned this team into a reality show that has gone wrong. It showed in their performance today. Tua looked terrible, the offensive line even worse, and Tyreek Hill is about to blow a gasket on the sidelines. Daniel Jones took their defense for 272 yards. Daniel Jones. Let that sink in for a minute. They demolished the Dolphins 33-8 in a lopsided affair, and it's only going to get further downhill from here. As for the Colts, they'll be facing the Broncos next week. They look good right now, but let's see when they face a real team. That'll be put to test for sure. This was, along with many others in Week 1, a low-scoring, but yet a very close game. The game was tied at 10, but a last-minute touchdown to James Conner gave Arizona the lead with less than 30 seconds in the first half. New Orleans had chances to score, but they just couldn't capitalize. Even with their front 7 performing very well, their secondary was not able to handle the quickness of Kyler and the might of MHJ. They had a chance at the end of the fourth quarter with less than 2 minutes to go, rallying to the other side of the field with less than 10 seconds left.
Barrows in the slot, the bottom of your screen. Rattler toward the end zone, caught, and then dropped.
A hard-fought win for the Cardinals, and now they can face the Panthers next week in hopes of going 2-0. If today's any reference to how they'll perform, the Cardinals might be back. Burrow and Chase versus the might of Joe Flacco. While the Browns will be competitive this year, it's still two division rivals going at it. The Bengals are on the board first, scoring a touchdown in their first drive with Chase Brown storming into the end zone. The Browns come back on the next drive and score one as well, but Joe Burrow says, "Not today," and throws another one in the end zone to Noah Fant. Dylan Sampson, though, is showing the world his worth as he carried the Browns to their second touchdown score of the day, and giving them the lead for that matter. But the kicker misses the extra point, and the Bengals come back with a field goal to take the lead, 17-16. But Myles Garrett is determined to keep the score the way it is, sacking Burrow twice in one drive. But even with the thwarting efforts on defense, the Browns still have a chance to win this game.
For the lead. And it is no good! He missed it wide to the right!
Missing an extra point and a field goal is crucial, but their defense was good enough to stop the Bengals again from getting a first down, and they have the ball back with less than 2 minutes to go.
The snap. Flacco, juggled, intercepted! DJ Turner off the deflection takes it away for Cincinnati and takes away the opportunity for the Cleveland Browns.
With another missed opportunity, the Bengals go on to beat the Browns for their first Week 1 win since their Super Bowl season in 2021. As for the Browns, another Browns performance for another Browns season. As a fan of the Patriots, but having Ashton Jeanty on my fantasy teams, this was a roller coaster of emotions on Sunday. Jeanty made his first impression, while the Raiders scored a touchdown on the first drive. Drake May then threw to Pop Douglas for their first touchdown of the season to tie it at 7, and it seemed the momentum shifted into New England's side. Drake was looking sharp, slinging the ball to Hunter Henry and Kayshon Boutte, until
getting rid of it. Oh, airing pass and it's picked.
I know that wasn't Drake May's fault, but ever since that interception, the Raiders had seemingly took over. Jeanty scored his first NFL touchdown, and Geno Smith was getting sharper as the game was progressing. The Raider defense was also reading every pass that May was thrown, and almost knew exactly where the Patriots were going to run the ball. This is what happens when you hire Pete Carroll as a head coach, and you have Josh McDaniels as your offensive coordinator. So much so that the Raiders were up 20-10 at the end of the game, with the Patriots scoring a field goal that was way too late with 19 seconds left. Raiders win, as the Chargers will face them next week. As for the Patriots, they have to face Miami, and we all know how that's going to turn out. Well, this was a very pleasant surprise to me, since I'm a Patriots fan and I love to see the Giants squirm. The Commanders stomped all over the Giants for what seemed to be an eternity. The Giants' defense was good, at least front seven-wise, but their secondary is absolutely terrible, giving up 233 passing yards. Russell Wilson did have his moments, and Malik Neighbors is excellent, but the Commanders were just the better team in all aspects. Jaden Daniels was slinging the ball to Zach Ertz, Deebo Samuel, and Terry McLaurin. This game was penalty-filled, with 18 penalties for 124 yards. What's worse is that the Commanders had 12 of those penalties, and the Giants still couldn't capitalize. Washington wasn't the slickest team out there this week, but they got the job done, and the Giants will need to figure it out for next week against the Cowboys. This game was very fun to watch, and that's saying something since this is the Jets and the Steelers. Rodgers gets his revenge, slinging a touchdown for his first one of the season. But remember Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson at Ohio State? Well, let's relive it in real time. Fields throws him the long ball into the end zone to take the lead. However, Chris Boswell gives the Steelers the lead back with a field goal. The Jets get it back with a Braden Allen touchdown and a 51-yarder from Nick Folk. Justin Fields is playing his heart out this entire game, while Aaron Rodgers is proving the doubters wrong today, and that it was truly the Jets' system. The Steelers get another touchdown, back and forth for the rest of the game until the very end.
Team interceptions, fake the handoff, Rodgers under a rush, wide open, touchdown, Calvin Austin!
Will the Jets respond?
Hall in the backfield, fake it, and it's Fields!
There it is.
By himself for the touchdown!
Probably the game of the week, especially with how uncompetitive this game was supposed to be. They failed to do the two-point conversion, and Rodgers gets sacked on the next drive. The Jets go 3 and out as well, though, and the Steelers get the ball back late in the game.
Rodgers, and that ball knocked around and ends up of Metcalf.
A clutch catch by DK Metcalf puts them in the field goal range with over a minute left. Boswell has history in front of him. A 60-yard field goal, the most in his career.
For the lead, sweeps the leg, 60-yarder! He's got it!
Holy shit. A 2-point lead with a minute to go for the Jets. Fields can't connect with an outstanding play by Jalen Ramsey and an incomplete pass on 4th and 3 in their own territory. It's a huge moment for Fields. 19 seconds to go in the game, and he needs to come up with something quick.
Fields delivers, catch made, and the ball is jarred loose! Garrett Wilson could not secure it!
Ramsey and Metcalf make their statement plays in Steeler debuts to help them overcome the Jets of all teams. This Steeler team could be better than previous ones, and I'm not just saying that. But they'll be put to the test against the Seahawks next week, and with the newly signed Jabril Peppers to bolster that defense even more. This was a hell of a game on both counts. These games are always classics, or at least they have been these past couple of seasons. These two teams are always tied to the knot. For both teams, they want to prove themselves as the leader of the NFC South. Michael Penix looked very good in this game, and fantasy owners are all over it right now. Bijan scores the first touchdown of the game to make a big statement, and the Falcons D leaves the Bucs scoreless until the middle of the second quarter. The Bucs do come back eventually after kicking a field goal, but Baker was willing to make a statement. A touchdown strike to rookie Emeka Egbuka to give them a 10-7 lead is what he truly wanted. Another good drive by the Falcons, however, ties the game up with a field goal. Entering the second half, the Bucs get the ball, and Bucky Irving powers through the pylon for their second touchdown of the game and giving them the lead. The Falcons chip closer with another field goal, but Penix is on a roll. 4th down near the 2-minute warning.
Penix, pump fake, takes off, dives, ball comes loose. Was his knee down touchdown.
But the Bucs, they won't lay down and die. Near and after the 2-minute warning, they drive down the field inside the opposite 40.
Mayfield on first down, throws, end zone, caught, touchdown!
What a game. Now the Falcons need to go about 85 yards in less than a minute, but Penix won't lay down and die either. Because of this never say die attitude both QBs have, Penix and company drive all the way across the field inside the 30. They couldn't convert on the 3rd down, so they're giving it to the leg of Young Hui Koo to tie the game.
Koo from 44, it is wide to the right, no good!
Wow, very insulting, especially after Penix threw for almost 300 yards and pretty much broke out in our very eyes in this game. Insane. They have the Vikings next week, so let's see if they can pull something out there. But again, the Falcons falconed once again. Tough loss. This wasn't a statement win by any means necessary, but this was an exciting debut for Travis Hunter. It wasn't his breakout by any means, but it was still nice to see him dazzle on both sides of the field. As he slowly becomes the Shohei of football, their defense was superb as well. Yes, it was against the Panthers, and of course, I'm grasping at straws. But let me do so, alright? Let me do my job. The Panthers did keep it competitive for over a quarter, but that stopped when their defense stalled out. Travis Etienne was gold this week, and he just earned himself a full-time start once again after Tank Bigsby was suddenly traded to Philadelphia. Why? I don't know, but it's good for me, because I have him in fantasy. Brian Thomas was great too. Lots of positive things for the Jags, and hopefully this week will be replicated in the coming weeks as well. Their biggest question is if they can compete against the big teams. This year will be the true test. On to said true test when they face Cincinnati next week. Another division rival game that was very competitive. The Seahawks need to prove themselves against the heavyweight contender in their division. Maybe Sam Darnold can actually perform. The 49ers struck first with a George Kittle touchdown, and Seattle responded with a Charbonnet touchdown. It was 7-7 all the way to the near end of the first half, and it was pretty uneventful, especially with Jake Moody doinking a 27-yard chip shot that could have gotten the Niners the lead to start the second half. Instead, Jason Myers kicks the field goal to end the half with a 3-point lead for Seattle. Brock Purdy then gets intercepted by Ernest Jones to start the second half, and Moody was blocked of another field goal attempt. The Niners then force a fumble and recover. Only after the fumble was when somebody scored, as Jake Moody finally made a field goal to tie the game at 10. Purdy throws yet another interception as the Seahawks took over, and they kick a field goal to take a lead. Seattle, with all their momentum on their side, just needs to stop the Niners on their seemingly last chance on offense, barring something incredible.
Purdy lofts one, it is Tonjes! Touchdown, San Francisco!
Jake Tonges, of all people. Come on, Seattle!
2nd and 10, Darnold, one-on-one, Smith and Jigba! They went back to Smith and Jigba, and he beat Green.
That's more like it. Take it home with a minute left.
Darnold hit as he let it go. The ball is loose. The 49ers have it.
Really, Darnold? Nobody even touched you. How the hell did you do that? Aren't you a professional quarterback or something? Whatever, the 49ers win on the most ridiculous play I have ever seen in my life. Darnold is a former Jet after all. He can never truly shake it. The Texans are trying to prove that last year was something of the past. They make a statement with 2 field goals and strong defense to start. It stayed that way until the very end of the first half, where Kyren Williams ran it into the end zone for a Rams touchdown. But the Texans act fast, and Stroud leads the offense in a field goal range, and Fairbairn banks it right in for his 3rd field goal of the game. Things picked up immediately in the second half, as Matt Stafford surges down the field and throws a strike to Davis Allen for a touchdown. After this, the Rams defense wakes up, sacking Stroud, and a nice interception to take the ball away on the same drive. The Texans survived this drop after recovering a fumble and driving down the field. New acquisition Nick Chubb is proving he's still got it as he leads this drive. CJ needs to get a touchdown here to cap this drive and get his defense back out on that field to seal the win.
Stroud, and he's got him underneath. It's caught by Ogunbowale, fumbles the ball, and it's loose, and it's recovered by the Rams.
Ogunbowale fumbles the football, and the Rams take the win. Now they need to worry about the Bucs next week. As for the Rams, they cruise into Tennessee to take on the tanking Titans, and could easily be 2-0 as Week 2 ends. The Lions were absolutely obliterated on both sides of the ball. Jordan Love threw for 2 touchdowns in the first half, and the defense stuck the Lions to only 3 points. The Packers' defense wouldn't bend, and the Lions' offense fell apart. 4 sacks on Jared Goff as the offensive line couldn't hold the might of Micah Parsons and Rashad Gary. A clean and dominant win by the Packers. They had just solidified themselves as the powerhouse of the NFC North. And honestly, I'm scared. After what happened last season, people thought this was going to be a tune-up game, and it definitely should have been. After what both teams had transpired last season, the Broncos should have gotten more points than they did. Bo Nix threw a dime to Cortland Sutton to take the lead just before halftime, but their special teams folded within the last few seconds of the half and gave up a last-minute Titans field goal. Right when the second half started, Nix threw his 2nd interception of the game, and the Broncos defense gave up another Titans field goal, giving Tennessee the lead. Field goals in this game, until the 4th quarter came around. Then, J.K. Dobbins finally woke up from his slumber and scored his first touchdown of the season, extending their lead to 8. Cam Ward tried to carry this offense across the field, but his receivers needed to catch the ball in order for that to happen, paging Calvin Ridley and Okonkwo. He has one more chance, though, on a 4th and 10 inside their own 40.
Cam Ward hit as he throws. That ball is loose. They're going to let it play through. It's Denver football no matter what.
The Titans only had 7 first downs compared to the 6 sacks that Cam Ward swallowed up. It's going to be a hell of a year for Tennessee. At least Denver won today and didn't disappoint. Let's hope this is consistent. Wow, what a game for Sunday night primetime. Reigning MVP versus 2024 MVP. Highly touted offense versus highly touted offense. Highly touted defense versus highly touted defense. Both teams trying to make a statement against Kansas City and who would most likely face them in the AFC Championship. They didn't show us what's up. They completely tore the house down as Josh Allen starts the scoring, slinging a pass to Dalton Kincaid for a touchdown to start. Then Derrick Henry rumbles through into the end zone to give the Ravens the lead. Lamar says, "Let's take over," and runs into the end zone with another touchdown to expand their lead to 10. And Buffalo, within seconds before the half ended, got a field goal in to chip the deficit to just 7. But Lamar wouldn't let up. He threw a dime to Zay Flowers for another touchdown to stretch their lead back to 10. An unlikely penalty from Jair Alexander, however, leads the Bills to the red zone where they score another touchdown. But DeAndre Hopkins wants in on the fun, making a spectacular one-handed catch into the end zone for another Ravens touchdown. Allen and James Cook decide to carry the offense on their backs on the next drive, as Allen runs it in himself for a touchdown. They try for 2, but Kyle Hamilton intercepts it in the end zone. Now the Ravens offense was scrambling, trying to find any extra yard to get out of Dodge. They give the ball back to Derrick Henry, where he storms right through and gets into the end zone for his second one of the night. Now down by 15, the Bills need to capitalize.
Pursuing and Allen throws, deflected and caught by Coleman on the tip for 6.
At least if the Ravens can hold onto the football and they can cruise into the 2-minute warning and regroup and then just end the game. With their rushing attack, they can definitely make it work.
First-year player, I should say, is the man protecting, and Henry lost the football. And the Bills are down there. And they have it.
Damn. Ed Oliver comes through clutch with the forced fumble, and the Bills have another chance. Josh throws a dart right to Jackson Hawes and takes it himself for the touchdown. They had a chance to tie this game, but it was deflected. Baltimore still had the lead with a minute and a half to go. They needed to get a first down conversion, but they couldn't quite get it. Josh Allen and the Bills had the ball with a minute left. They drive the ball down the field instantaneously and run down the clock. Matt Prater was signed last minute due to a Tyler Bass injury and was set to kick the game-winning field goal.
From 32 yards, Prater made it, and the Bills open their final season in this stadium with a stunning comeback win.
One of the most amazing comebacks in Week 1 history, and it's not even close. What a game for Buffalo, as this was a statement win for them. With them facing the Jets next week, this could ease them into a 2-0 record as the best case scenario. As for Baltimore, they completely fell apart. A choke job, if you will. At least they're playing the Browns next week and they can regroup, and it is only Week 1. But good Lord, the season just started and they're already letting their fans down in spectacular fashion. Jesus. I wanted to get the sour taste out of my mouth, but I don't think much is going to come off with this game. Caleb Williams did look like a legit superstar for this game, at least for the first half. J.J. McCarthy, however, was a mess throughout the game. His passes were getting blocked, he was getting himself into sacks, and he threw a pick 6. They were down 17-6 in the fourth quarter, with the Bears seemingly winning this game by a long shot. But somehow, McCarthy and the Vikings offense woke up. McCarthy threw a missile into the end zone to Justin Jefferson for a touchdown. They went for 2 but didn't get it. And the defense ended up getting the memo, and the Bears offense went 3 and out. But the Vikings lucked out on a questionable pass interference penalty and got a fresh set of downs.
McCarthy. Pass is caught. Spinning grab by Aaron Jones.
A missed assignment cost the Bears this game. The Vikings went for 2 and got it this time. The Bears tried recovering, but the Vikings thwarted them of it, blocking their punt. They drive down the field once again, and McCarthy reestablishes himself with a comeback within himself, adding another touchdown to their lead. The Bears, with under 3 minutes left, had a rally to get down the field. Caleb seemed like a completely different QB to this point after halftime. He wasn't finding open receivers, he wasn't throwing the ball accurately, and he was making poor decisions with the football. He was still able to get back within himself and throw a TD pass to Rome Odunze before the 2-minute warning. Still down by 3, however, it was far too late for them to start another rally. The Bears lose to Minnesota 27-24, beaten by their own hometown kid, J.J. McCarthy, and it was a disappointment for all Bears fans involved. What a way to start week 1. It was an eventful one, and I will see you next week.